Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lemon Live at 5. So, normally I always say good evening, right? But tonight I'm afraid that would not be accurate. So I'm not going to say good evening, but I will say hello. I am glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're here to learn about what is going on. I'm really um, happy that you're here, but I wish we had better circumstances. And remember, this morning I felt a certain kind of way. I was like, feel a certain kind of way about this. I'm not having a good time with what's going on. I felt like a little sort of depression about the state of the world, the state of America, the united or divided states of America. Okay. And I think you guys are feeling it too. Hi, Don. Stay encouraged, says Andy D. Andy, I'm with you. Look, if you go on to the Substack, I tell you, I say we're not crazy. We're just tired, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop fighting. Everybody is entitled to those moments. But I appreciate, Andy D, I appreciate your encouragement, because I think we should all encourage each other. And I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy this is a kind of community that I built. This is the kind of community that we built here on the Don Lemon channel. So thank you for having us. You're quite welcome, Metal Mama 1987, and thank you for joining in. Okay, so Don, we don't need you to be depressed. I'm not. Look, I'm just saying. I'm not depressed in the sense like, woe is me. I'm so down I can't move. I think I'm just sort of feeling how most people are feeling, especially after we talk about this. And maybe we can encourage each other, and that's the whole point. Okay, so if you can, I want you to do a couple things for me. This is my call to action. So make sure you hit the thumbs up button here if you're following us, if you're watching us on YouTube. Become a member. The membership link is at the top of the chat. It should be there. Have you hit the thumbs up thing yet? Can we put that poll up? And then also, the subscribe button is at the bottom of the screen, right near the Don Lemon Show logo. You can just go there, hit subscribe, or you can hit join if you're watching us on a laptop or what have you. Okay, so thank you so much. If you're watching us, if you're following us on TikTok, smash the screen. We got a lot to talk about. I love you too, Devin Christie Music over on the TikTok. So thank you so much. And if you're on Instagram or Facebook, thank you as well. I appreciate you joining us. You can get your comments up if you're following us on the YouTube, and I will read them. I'm going to read some of your comments today because I want to know how you are feeling. Okay. So thanks for joining. I hope that you're okay. So again, I'm not saying good evening. This was an extremely sobering day. Wait till you hear what happened in the Oval Office. And I have to confess, it's going to be a sobering episode here on the Don Lemon Show on Lemon Live at 5. I want you to mark your calendars, because I just want to put a tiny X over today's date. Today is Monday, April 14th, 2025. Okay, I just want to triple check that. Yes, today is Monday, April 14th, 2025. Put a tiny X there. Why am I asking you to do that? I'm asking you to do that because if this country indeed falls into a fascist autocracy, I believe that we're kind of already there. But if we continue to slide on this road, we are fully there. If we never have free and fair elections again, if the United States of America proves to be yet another Nazi Germany, our clearest omen yet would be today. It would be today. Why do I say that? Because this man, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, allow me to introduce you to him. Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This man will go down in history. He is a political prisoner at this point. He is currently being held in an El Salvadorian concentration camp, not a prison, not a mega prison, a concentration camp, period. End of sentence. Is that what we do in this country? Without due process? Is that what we do? Because the Trump folks are going to say a whole lot of things without proof, without showing you any evidence. And this isn't about me making excuses for criminals and people who are here from other countries doing bad things. This is about someone who was here legally. They're going to tell you he was not here legally. They're going to tell you all kinds of things again. And as we do it, I am going to go through them And I'll pause if there's an inconsistency or something that is wrong. Look, this person is a human being. And regardless, this is America. We don't do that. Remember how people were outraged. This is the whole thing. People were outraged during Guantanamo Bay. Remember those images of those people torturing or joking around as they were torturing prisoners at Guantanamo Bay who were accused of horrible acts of terrorism during 9/11, etc. Remember that? And remember how outraged the country was. So these are, some of them are accused of horrible things. Not all of them are guilty of them. Many of them are not, according to studies. And I'm going to show you that. This is going to be a show about facts, y'all. This is not going to be a show where we are going to normalize something that is not normal, that we're going to give some false equivalence. I want you to think about, remember the whole Gitmo controversy that happened. Outraged over those pictures. You are right, Bugnita. The judge told Trump to return people and nothing, capital nothing, has happened. It is outrageous. This is him with his son, 2 years old. I think he's 2 years old. Is that right? His son. This is a TikToker. I want you, because I like to have real people and I like to give you evidence. I like to show real people and not necessarily always politicians or people sitting around glossy studios, as I say, in pancake makeup and suits and cocktail dresses and a lot of hairspray. I like to show you the people who are out here who are really feeling it, who are on the streets and who are in American homes on Main Street, America, and they are speaking out. This is what's happening with Abrego Garcia, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Here it is.
If you're not paying attention to this Abrego Garcia situation, you need to. The government literally kidnapped a man who they had no evidence that he committed a crime. And then they deported him to El Salvador and put him into this supermax prison. So the Supreme Court was like, you can't do that. So they unanimously agreed that Trump has to facilitate him coming back. Even Clarence Thomas said that Trump was wrong here. And as of today, Trump's just like, no, I'm not going to do that. This is what you call a constitutional crisis. He is knowingly defying a Supreme Court order. I hope you guys understand. This could happen to me. It could happen to you. It could happen to anybody. Because they're telling you that the government can take you. Admit that they had no functional basis to take you in the first place. Have the courts order for you to come back. All to have Donald Trump say, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't feel like it. That's absurd. And the fact that every single one of these Republicans are sitting in Congress right here as we speak, doing nothing about it, shows how spineless they really are. In a normal world, this would mean impeachment. Call your congressperson and tell them to raise their voices about this. Because as Abrego today, it could be you tomorrow. Time to fight back.
Well, it was cut off there. He said in a normal world, this would mean impeachment. But for some reason, this is normal these days. And where's the outrage from the people who care about, from the family values people? Where's the outrage? Where is the outrage for the law and order people? Where is the outrage from the comply people? Where is the comply? They want everybody else to comply. Hey, look, you got, the police officer did this, you didn't comply. Why aren't they complying with the Supreme Court and with the courts? And why are they lying about the court's ruling? I'm going to show you there's so many lies. What happened at the White House today is just unfathomable. It is un-American. It's unpatriotic. I cannot believe that happened, that it is happening in America. These people are evil. These people are not patriots. These people are not following the Constitution, the rule of law, not at all. And yet they always are crying about people not following the Constitution. They're carrying the Constitution around in their coat pocket or their pocket or in their briefcase or whatever. And this is what the Constitution says. Okay, then where's your Constitution right now? When your very own dear leader, cult leader, is breaking the law and not following that Constitution. Rosemarie says they don't view immigrants as human beings. They see them as animals. Disgusting. Now look, they are trying to, here's what they're doing. They're trying to criminalize. They want to criminalize immigrants, so that they can get their way to be able to just deport people, not just immigrants. They want to be able to do it to American citizens. You hear me? They want to be able to do it to American citizens. And I'm not kidding. Again, what happened at the White House, and I'm going to show you, is outrageous. Now, I want you to sit back and listen to this. I want you to listen very clearly. And yes, Carrie Bowman, it is an abuse of power. It is an abuse of power. Now, I want you to listen to this very carefully. Now, I'm going to tell you in the beginning, it's going to be hard for you to understand what's going on. We boosted the volume so that you could hear it. I don't know if they knew they were on a mic, but they were talking. This is the El Salvador president, Nayib Bukele, okay? Came to the White House today. You know, he's in there. He is the one that has the prison. They're paying him hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to house these people coming over from the United States. And now Donald Trump is saying he wants to deport and send to El Salvador homegrowns, meaning Americans, to these horrible concentration camp-like prisons. What? America, are you listening to this? And MAGA is just standing by, doing nothing about it. They think it's good. They think that they're exempt, that it's not going to happen to them. Just as the farmers, many of them who supported Donald Trump, thought that they were exempt. It's not going to happen to them. And now they're like, whoa, hey. Just like the immigrants who thought, I'm going to vote for him, I'm going to support him, but it's not going to happen to me or my, neighbors, my brethren, my immigrant brethren. It's not going to happen. And then folks are getting deported that they know, and they're like, whoa, wait. And now they're saying, there's a guy, I'm going to send it to you, producers. There is a guy who, I think I sent it to you this weekend, but I'll give it to you again. He effed around and he found out. And now he is, because people are saying, hey, look, you should have thought about that. And they're laughing at him. He thinks people are being really mean now. How dare you do this? I'll find it. How dare you laugh, or how dare you take glee? Now, I agree. No one should be taking glee in anyone's downfall. But if you F around and find out, hey, that's your problem. But I want you to listen to this. I believe it's a hot mic. And listen to the homegrown part. It's going to be tough in the beginning, but go ahead. Here it is.
Gladly, the people wanted to change their weapons, and they wanted. He demanded, they love you. They love what you. Well, I'm not feel supportive. I want to do, It's not homegrown criminals next. Yeah. I said, homegrowns are next. The homegrowns. You got to build about 5 more places. Yeah, that's fair. All right? It's not big enough. No, yeah. Come on. So this is a much different office than you're in.
So the homegrowns, you need to make more prisons, bigger prisons. I can't find the guy that I'm looking for, but I'll find it. So they need to make bigger prisons so that they can do what? The homegrowns. That means American citizens. Will America stand for this? Is this the moment where America goes, you know what? It's time that we step up. When is America going to do that? Yes, Andy, please put that up. I don't know if MAGA is going to do it. So, Angerstein, everyone look at your screen. Everyone look at your screen. Angerstein Global Risk Management says, Don, my husband was detained today. He went to his immigration check-in. We have an active I-485. I am crushed. Angerstein, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? We want to hear your story. How do we get there? How do we get Angerstein's information? Can I have them DM one of you on, are you on Twitter, Angerstein? Because I want to get you on the phone and I want people to hear your story. My husband was detained today. He went to his immigration check-in. We have an active I-485. I am crushed.
Angerstein, if you are on Twitter, you can DM me at Peter Twinklage, or if you're on Instagram, you can add me at Prothplease, PROTHPLZ, and we can get in contact.
Yeah, or you can go to here to my Instagram, right, and DM me, and I'll keep it open and I'll look for it. And you can put your phone number in there and we'll call you. I'll put you on. Or we'll send you a link for you to get on. But you can go to Don Lemon. I think it's on Instagram. It's Don Lemon Official. And send me a DM. I don't usually read those. I'm not exactly sure how to find them, but I will. Oh, I have it here. And you let me know how to get in touch with you. This is outrageous. It is outrageous. Man, that really added to the mood that I was telling you about this morning. Why I feel the way I do, because I feel like there's no recourse many times with this stuff. There's no recourse. And then what do? Boy, oh boy. Sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say about that. Is it okay that I'm at a loss for words? Is it okay that I'm at a loss for words for that? Okay. So this is something that we don't do here in the United States as well. When they're talking about you need to liberate 350 million people, you need to imprison some people. That's not how we do it here. We're innocent until proven guilty. We don't just put people in prison and we hope that they are guilty of something. At least we shouldn't do that in the United States. But this is the president of El Salvador. Now I want you to listen to what he's saying, which is completely un-American, and no one checked him, at least not with the Trump administration, in the office, Oval Office. Check it out.
And in fact, Mr. President, you have 350 million people to liberate. Yes. But to liberate 350 million people, you have to imprison some. That's the way it works, right? You cannot just, free the criminals and think crime's going to go down magically. You have to imprison them so you can liberate 350 million Americans that are asking for the end of crime and the end of terrorism. And it can be done. I mean, you're doing it already. And I'm sure that people have seen the change in the streets. A long way to go because you're just initiating your second term. But it's clear that, with the numbers at the border, when even in Democrat-run cities, they get a help from the work you're doing. So I'm really happy to be here, honored, and eager to help.
So you have to liberate 350 million people. And he said, didn't he say in that terrorists, etc.? And there has been no proof of any of it. Now, I'm sure some of them are bad people, but we have seen no proof of anything from anyone in the American government. So we don't know.
And Don, could I quickly hammer home one point. We talked
Yes,
about this before
please.
you went live on Substack with Joy today. Bukele is widely viewed as a dictator in El Salvador. And one stat that has just been seared into my brain of late is the fact that, if memory serves, I believe it was an NPR report earlier today, it talked about how over the course of his tenure so far, he has arrested some 85,000 El Salvadorans and sent them to prisons, various forms of gulags, like this facility where Abrego Garcia is being held. Do you want to guess, Lemonheads, how many of those 85,000 El Salvadorans have actually been convicted of a crime? About 1,000. About 1,000 of 85,000. Sorry, Don.
No, that's okay. Don't apologize. And that's what he wants to do in the United States. That's the advice, Peter, that he is giving the president of the United States. So where does that, Peter, when you talked to me earlier and you talked about this break the glass moment, if we're going to do it, and I said to you, I don't believe what I just said. I don't believe that these folks are going to do it because they think it's not going to happen to him. And there's another theory that we have. I'll share it. Let me just get through the ad break, Peter, and I want you to stay there, and we're going to talk about what I believe and what you believe. And I shared this with you earlier, and you shared it with me as well. But let's get through this, okay? Because in these moments, we need someone to talk to, okay? And look, I'm going to bring you ads now. I'm going to give you 2 ads for things that I believe in on this channel. That's it, okay? So I'm not going to give you superfluous stuff, and I think we're in a moment right now. So the Don Lemon Show is sponsored by BetterHelp, and it's BetterHelp.com. And I'm going to just tell you in the beginning, go to BetterHelp.com/Don Lemon. It's sponsored by BetterHelp because right now we could all use some help. We can all talk to someone. There's so much chaos. There's so much going on. Whether you are a supporter of this or not, this administration, whatever, we can all use some help. And I believe that therapy, and that's what BetterHelp does. It's therapy. And you can do it by phone. You can just click a button, do it by phone or do it by computer. And you can get up to 50% off of what normal therapy would cost. Between $100 to $250 per session. You can get an average of 50% off if you go to BetterHelp with online therapy. You pay a flat fee for weekly sessions. It saves you big on cost and time. Therapy should feel accessible. It shouldn't be a luxury. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense and can help you with anything from anxiety to everyday stress. Your mental health is worth it, and now it is within your reach. BetterHelp.com has more than 30,000 therapists. They have helped. It's the largest online therapy platform in the world. 5 million people globally so far that they have helped. It's convenient. You can join a session with a click of a button, and they can fit your therapy into your busy life, and you can switch therapists at any time. So your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/Don Lemon to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Don Lemon. Today's show is also brought to you by the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Now, you guys know I'm not talking trash about this because you know I wrote the book on religion that dropped in September. I Once Was Lost, My Search for God in America. So I wrote about this. And I believe the same thing. I don't think that anyone should be pushing their religious philosophy or beliefs on you. I believe in the separation of church and state, and I believe in that even as a Christian, a believer. I don't believe in shoving any of my religious beliefs on anyone. That's why people have stepped away from going to church, becoming more secular. But here's the thing. You cannot just be hands off when right now people are working overtime to change and codify the laws, and Christian nationalism is on the rise. And they're trying to shove their beliefs into our laws, our schools, and even our personal lives. That's where the Freedom from Religion Foundation comes in, because they're trying to keep it like our forefathers or our founders wanted it. They want to keep it like our forefathers wanted it. The founders of our nation actually intended it. So whether you've always been secular or you've left religion behind, believe in keeping faith out of government, FFRF has your back. So join, go to ffrf.us/freedom or text my first name, Don, to 511-511 and become a member today. Text Don, D-O-N, to 511-511 or go to ffrf.us/freedom, ffrf.us/freedom, because the only thing worse than someone forcing religion on you is when they do it by law. So for membership information, text Don to 511-511 today. Text fees may apply. Okay? Thank you. Go check it out. All right? You just have to click. I showed you last week. It's easy. It's easy to do it. And we appreciate them being a sponsor. So Peter, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when I said, well, they're never going to believe it? It's cognitive dissonance. And you said, I don't think that their psyches, it would break their psyches if they admitted to themselves that they voted for this and that this is actually happening and that it's okay.
Yeah, Don, I'll share a bit of what I talked about with you. Earlier today, I was speaking with a family member about this case. And I said that in general, I think MAGA is sort of split into three different categories regarding how they're reacting to this. About a third of the movement, from my point of view, falls into what Hillary Clinton once infamously called the basket of deplorables. And when I say that, I mean these are the folks who know that this man is innocent. They know that he committed no crime. They know that Trump has sent him to rot in a gulag, a concentration camp, choose whatever term you'd like. And they are reveling in that because all that matters to them is relishing the quote unquote liberal tears. They just enjoy quote unquote triggering the libs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's another bucket of MAGA that is sort of just like totally checked out. They're not paying attention to the facts of the case. Maybe they've heard this gentleman's name once or twice. Maybe they've seen half of a report on the news. But in general, they just figure, well, Trump and Pam Bondi, they must have some reason for deporting this guy. And so good. And then I think, Don, there's a third bucket, and this is the one that I spoke about with you today. These are folks who are politically literate or news literate. They're more checked in than that second bucket that I just described. And they're also not as sadistic and cynical as the first bucket, the quote unquote basket of deplorables that I described first off. And these folks, it's hard to communicate with them about this case. And the reason I say that is because the administration's actions are so nakedly, so plainly indefensible, and frankly evil that they cannot admit, they cannot bring themselves to even recognize that this is happening. They have to choose unreality. They have to choose delusion, because doing otherwise, I think, would break their psyches, would break their very mental being, because it would mean accepting the fact that for years and years and years now, they have been supporting a man, and more broadly, a movement that is genuinely evil. And so instead, they choose to say it's all a lie. It's all, a liberal, lamestream media conspiracy, when it's not, of course. This is an innocent man who is in the country legally, father to an autistic child who they snatched in the middle of the night and sent to a concentration camp. And now they are willing to just let him rot to death in this forced labor camp for who knows what motivation. We can chat about that later, Don, but it's so dark. And I frankly don't know how some of these people sleep at night.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Peter. And I think that, look, obviously it's a very important assessment. And, as we've been talking about this story, and also the story of, there are many others, there are a number of others. And wait till we show you the people who are believed that they have deported, who they believe are not criminals and don't have criminal records. And so if you are, however you feel about immigrant or immigration, this is just not something we do in the United States. Again, I'm going to say, hearken back to the Gitmo and how outraged people were. That is when people actually could be shocked or surprised. And when I say it's evil, I'm just not saying that because it's, what's his name would say, Kevin O'Leary, you have Trump derangement syndrome, when the people who really have Trump derangement syndrome are the people who don't believe in facts. Now, again, I'm going to take you back to the White House. When Trump was asked if he'd deport Americans to foreign prisons, now watch, he tries to, first he insults the reporter and the network, which is surprising since, a lot of them are really supporting him and are trying to elevate his supporters on their networks, which is why you guys are here instead of there. But he does not have a good answer for it. Let's play it and then we'll discuss.
And just a follow-up question, a clarification. You mentioned that you're open to deporting individuals that aren't foreign aliens but are criminals to El Salvador.
Possibly. This is the one. I don't think this is the one where he insults the reporter. It's the one with the CNN reporter. But I'll play that one later. But let's listen to this one.
The U.S. citizens, fully naturalized American.
If they're criminals and if they hit people with baseball bats over their head that happen to be 90 years old, and if
okay, pause.
If they rape,
there's no evidence with that. That again, I just want to tell you that Abrego Garcia did any of this, and if someone did that, yeah, they should suffer the consequences. But where's the evidence? Where's the transparency on someone doing this that you actually deported them? That's it. This person should suffer every consequence. If they're doing this to a 90-year-old lady or a 9-year-old, whoever it is, they should. Keep going.
87-year-old women in Coney Island, Brooklyn. Yeah, that includes them. What do you think? There's a special category of person? They're as bad as anybody that comes in. We have bad ones too. And I'm all for it because we can do things with the president for less money and have great security. And we have a huge prison population. We have a huge number of prisons, and then we have the private prisons, and some are operated well, I guess, and some aren't. But he does a great job with that. We have others that we're negotiating with too. But no, if it's a homegrown criminal, I have no problem. Now, we're studying the laws right now. Pam is studying.
If it's a homegrown criminal,
and I'm talking.
Pause it, please. If it's a homegrown criminal, he has no problem. And we're studying it. Why even talk about it if you haven't studied it and you don't, it can't happen, or it's not supposed to happen, that it is unconstitutional? That you can just say, I'm going to deport an American citizen for committing a crime. I mean, where does it end? Oh my gosh, a traffic ticket. Let's get him out of here. I don't like what Don or Mark or Barbara or whatever has to say. Let's get him out of here. Where does this end? People get frustrated all the time. They get mad in court. They go and they think that their loved one should, someone should suffer, more for what has happened to their loved one. And I understand that. But there are certain things that we follow here in this country. And Donald Trump doesn't appear to be doing that. Now he's asking someone who's acting as his personal lawyer about this. And then she's going to give her thing. Here it is.
I'm talking about violent people. I'm talking about really bad people. Really bad people. Every bit as bad as the ones coming in. And I made the statement when I heard about this a long time ago now, 4 years ago. When I heard that this guy was having open borders, I said every single criminal from all over the world is going to be dumped into our country. And that's what happened. The jails of the Congo were emptied out.
Where is the evidence of that? And people just believe it. Where is the evidence of that? And by the way, Pam Bondi right there didn't answer, but I think she's going to answer a little bit later. Here's Pam Bondi responding. It's up to El Salvador to bring Garcia back. But anyways, listen.
Let's hear the question from this very low-rated anchor at CB.
Thank you, President. Do you plan to ask President Bukele to help return the man who your administration says was mistakenly deported? The man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador?
Well, let me ask Pam, would you answer that question?
Sure, President. First and foremost, he was illegally in our country. He had been illegally in our country.
He's not.
And
he wasn't.
2019,
he was not illegally in the country. That is lie number one. Keep going.
Two courts, an immigration court and an appellate immigration court, ruled that he was a member of MS-13 and he was illegally in our country.
Okay, I have not seen any evidence of that. If you could find it, then send it to me. Have we found any evidence of that, Peter?
No.
No. Okay. And that he was here illegally. He was not here illegally. Just like migrants are not here illegally. Keep going.
Right now, it was additional paperwork had needed to be done. That's up to El Salvador.
Okay, let me just tell you. So she just said it was a paperwork. She was going to say error. She caught herself. And now she's saying there was the paperwork more paperwork that needed to be done. And now she's going to go on and lie and say it is up to El Salvador. But then we're going to show you why she's lying. So back it up just a little bit. It's up to El Salvador, just a couple seconds, and then here we go.
Right now, it was additional paperwork had needed to be done. That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us. The Supreme Court ruled, President, that if, as El Salvador wants to return him, this is international matters, foreign affairs, if they wanted to return him, we would facilitate it, meaning provide a plane.
Yeah. So now they are. I told you this last week when everyone was like, oh my gosh, it's a big win. Yeah, it's a win. But now they're going over. I told you it was going to go over. It was going to be between facilitate and, oh gosh, what was the other word that I told you that they were fighting over? Can you remember, Peter?
Effectuate.
Effectuate and facilitate. And what is the difference in the meaning there? Effectuate means that they have to do it. Facilitate means that they have to somehow maybe perhaps help or provide the right legal work or whatever, and they're not doing that. So there's no accountability. You're right, Jackie Lynn, 24, I believe it is. There's no accountability. Now, she said that it's up to the El Salvadoran president or El Salvador to return, okay? Let's listen to the president of El Salvador and what he has to say. Now, remember what Pam Bondi said. It's up to him to bring back this man. Watch.
Can President Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed to have suggested that I'll smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right?
It's always
He said we do not allow terrorists in the United States. There's no evidence that he is a terrorist. He said, first of all, we don't allow terrorists in the United States. Keep going.
How can I return him to the United States? Like I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
But you can release him inside El Salvador.
Yeah, but I'm not releasing. We're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. We just turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into the releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? No, that's not going to happen.
They'd love to have a criminal, released into
our country. There's a fascination.
They would love it.
Yeah,
they're sick. These are sick people.
He's right about that. And it's, as I say, every speech, every accusation, every post is a confession. Yeah, these are really terrible people. Because what he said, do we know? We don't know if it's a terrorist. There's no evidence. If he is, show the evidence. How am I going to say we've turned it into the safest in the hemisphere? What? Now, remember, Pam Bondi just said that he has to do it. And he said, no, I don't have to do it. How can I do it? Folks out in the street who are talking about this, Trump and Bukele, both smearing Garcia. Watch.
I fucking mean this with all fucking sincerity. What the fuck are we doing right now? Trump is out here meeting with the Salvadorian president, Nayib Bukele, in the motherfucking Oval Office, and they're talking about the Maryland man that was illegally deported from the United States to El Salvador, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who, by the way, the Supreme Court of the United States told the Trump administration, bring his ass motherfucking back. Now that Salvadorian president is sitting in our fucking Oval Office saying he's not going to return anybody because he doesn't have the power to do so?
How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
One, he's not a fucking terrorist, and two, he has no fucking criminal record.
Releasing inside El Salvador. Yeah, but I'm not releasing, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. We just turned...
Clearly we're fucking fond as fuck about it.
Turn the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into the releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? No, that's not going to happen.
You see his stupid ass fucking smirking because you knew the fix was in. Because as soon as the Supreme Court came out and said that the Trump administration had to bring this motherfucker back, here comes Trump talking about the United States can't force El Salvador to do anything. We wouldn't dare force any country to do anything that we just wanted them to. Really, bitch? Really?
That man is not wrong. Now, this is something that's really dark, and we have been talking about this as it relates to this man and also the makeup artist, okay? This man, regardless of what you think, maybe whatever, if he is guilty of something, show the evidence. Is there a reason that they don't want to bring him back? Is there a reason they don't want to bring some of the other folks back? That even their lawyers, their families can't even get in touch with them? This one is serious. Listen.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia is still alive. For real. I know that Trump's lawyers testified in court that he is alive and secure, but considering how they handle and treat the courts these days, what do they care if they lied to them? It doesn't really matter. They don't follow court orders anyway. Trump has been demanded to bring this man back by several federal judges, and the Supreme Court unanimously decided that he needs to bring him back. They need to facilitate in his retrieval from El Salvador, and the Trump administration doesn't give a shit. So who's to say that this man is still alive? Who's to say that this is why they've been dragging their feet? Because you cannot tell me the United States cannot tell El Salvador to bring this man back. I guarantee you he can do that. I guarantee you Trump can pick up the phone right now today and say, get this man back into my custody. He would do it for any white person that was sent down there. I guarantee it. He could pick up the phone today. So then it leads me to the question is, where is Abrego Garcia? Why have we not seen anything from him? Why has there been no evidence that he is alive? There's been no information on this, that he is actually safe. They say he is, but what does that matter? They lie all day, every day. It is this administration's job to lie to the American people and pull the wool over our eyes. They are trying to delay until we forget about this. They are trying to continue to kick this down the road until the next big fuck up comes along, created by Donald Trump. He creates all these news stories. He creates this running for a third term to distract from Hexit. He does this type of stuff to deflect and distract every day. And as the days and weeks go by, he's hoping that this whole situation and story goes away. He's hoping that we will just forget. Because I am truly wondering, is this man still alive? Nobody has proven it. Nobody has shown any evidence. All we have is that they said it in court. And they don't care about any sort of perjury or contempt or anything like that that will come out of them lying in court. I guarantee it. The Trump administration feels and is demonstrating they are above the courts. So is this man still alive? Will he ever come back to the United States? I don't know.
What do you guys think? I know that that is an awful thing to think about. But I do believe that it is something that we should think about.
Don, you and I, in the past
Could have
couple of
happened.
days, we've chatted about why the administration is fighting so hard to keep this one man, this one single individual in the El Salvadoran concentration camp. And up until today, I have been really quite confused by the administration's moves, by their recalcitrance, by their absolute refusal to just take the L and bring the guy back who they have admitted in court was sent there by mistake. And what I've said to you is it's just stunning and bizarre because it's one guy. Why are they burning so much goodwill? Why are they burning so much credibility with a 6-3 conservative supermajority on the bench? And what was mind-boggling to me as I was thinking, this doesn't make any sense because obviously the Trump administration has broader aims. Obviously there are bigger issues that have perhaps even more sweeping constitutional implications that they want to eventually take on. So why waste all of their karma, so to speak, on this one issue? And so what I told you, Don, is I think there are three aspects to this. One is it's just Trump's nature. It's what Trump learned from Roy Cohn as he was growing up in New York back in the day. Mm-hmm. Deny, fight, never apologize, never surrender, never admit defeat. I think that is some of it. I think some of it is the administration knowing well and good that if they did bring this gentleman back, he would be used as a cudgel by the quote unquote lamestream media day after day for the next 3.5 years. And they would rightfully use him as a voice, as a symbol, as a folk hero, frankly, for the evils of this administration. And they don't want that. But to that TikToker who we played a second ago, I think that we now need to start asking that question, because to flout a 9-0 Supreme Court unanimous decision, whereas another TikToker earlier said, even Clarence Thomas, even Alito were on board and saying, the Trump White House, you guys are really screwing around here. This needs to stop. Why burn that much goodwill?
I don't think they care about goodwill, Peter. I really
you don't think so?
No, and
sorry. Just to very quickly finish. I think one possible scenario is because he is indeed dead. That's one. I think that we need to start thinking that that's a possibility.
Well, I would hate that. I would hate that to be the case. Let me just be the first person to say that. I would hate that to be the case. However, I don't think that they care about burning goodwill. And if it is, perhaps we will never find out. If you think that this administration can be that evil. I want to bring someone on the phone now. Remember, we were talking to, can you put the original thing up that Jonathan had on the screen? So Jonathan is on the phone now. He said your husband was detained today. Jonathan, tell us what happened.
Yes, sir. Well,
and by the way, hold on, Jonathan. Let me just say, again, I hope Jonathan is not punking me, okay? I'm just going to put it out there that this is real, okay? Jonathan sent this, Angerstein Global Risk Management. Said, Don, my husband was detained today. He went to his immigration check-in. We have an active I-485. I'm crushed. Okay, Jonathan, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, my husband and I have been married for 6 years, and we've been through the process. Actually, he was detained back in 2019. And he had deportation orders back then. Well, they had detained him for so long that it took a writ of habeas corpus for him to be released. And they put him on what's called supervision, or like a supervisory stay, detention. And he stayed with me while we went through the process of going to getting all of our documents set up. Today, he went in for his check-in. Between 6 months to a year, they have a check-in. When he went in today, he was taken immediately after he gave his paperwork. I couldn't get his phone. The only thing I could get from him was his wallet. I mean, I'm like, it's like a dream, like a nightmare. Like, I was always, afraid that this was going to happen. And, I had put in a story on the magazine, an LGBT affirming magazine, and I can send you the link on it, back in 2019, where I was pleading for help to get my husband out of detention, because they were playing a game of cat and mouse, moving him from Prairie Land to Johnson County to Oklahoma, then to Arizona, and it was just a nightmare. And
what are they saying? Why are they saying they detained him today?
He said that the gentleman that came to speak with me said that because he had deportation orders 6 years ago, but they could never get his country to respond, and it could have been possibly due to COVID, because it was like, well, let's see, they detained him in 2019, and it was in 2022 when they released him in February, and they couldn't get him his travel documents. Even there's a way where the governments can be able to provide temporary travel documents. They were not unable to do that, and that's why they handed him over to be at that supervision stay at home with me.
But let me ask you this. Hold on one second. So where's your husband from?
He's from Tunisia.
He's from Tunisia, and he came over what? He came over as
he came over with his visa. He had a tourist visa, and he overstayed, and because of that, because he had overstayed his visa, they put him the order for deportation.
And here's a misconception that people think that most of, and I don't know, I'd have to get the current statistics, that most of the people who come over the southern border. Many of them, and it used to be most of them, actually came over and they overstayed their visa, but no one talked about it and no one demonized folks who came over, right, and overstayed their visa. And so what happened? How have you been? So what has he been going through? Has he applied for citizenship? Has he applied for asylum? What's the story?
We've applied for what's called the I-45, which is the residence, the green card. We had applied for the I-130, which is the first part of the process, back in 2020. We've been through a lot together. I actually got married to him in the detention center. The first time he was detained in October the 30th in 2019, and he was shackled. He was shackled. I couldn't hug him, couldn't nothing. And one of my friends, who is a minister, an LGBT minister, Will Horn, who is he's a social justice minister here in the DFW area, officiated the service.
So folks are going to say, Jonathan, why didn't your husband go back?
Oh, it's not safe for him to go back as a gay man to Tunisia. It's punishable by law to be gay over there. 3 years of imprisonment. And that's the reason why he fled. He wanted to come to America to be safe, to live the life that he wanted to live. And we met, and then we fell in love. And I feel like I'm in a nightmare.
Does he have any other, and I'm sorry you're going through this, but does he have any other criminal record other than overstaying his the work visa?
None.
I'm sorry, the tourist visa.
Yeah, none.
And what took so long with the process of getting a visa, and especially if you are married and you're a U.S. citizen, correct?
Yeah, I'm a U.S. citizen, and we've been going through a lot of barriers. So every time we would submit something for the 45, like even with this last time that we submitted, we had to resubmit documents over and over again for some reason that, and then every time we submit documents, it seems like they get it from the top of the stack, and then they put it right back to the bottom so they can start all over again to do the reviews, to review income, to review purchases that we've made where we're both in like property and everything. It just seemed like it was just one barrier after another.
But look, folks will say if you overstay your visa, that is, it's tough. Why didn't he claim asylum?
Well, we tried to claim asylum, and under Judge Nugent, it was denied under what they call CAT. I guess it's CAT is what it was. But I think in a way, if you have asylum, you can't go back home. So he thought of it as a blessing in a way. He's Muslim, and so am I. But he just was afraid also that he would never see his parents again, although they don't know about him. I know I'm coming out publicly with it. I came up with the article that I did on the LGBT magazine. I'm trying to think of I can't think.
But he's not out to his parents, his family.
No,
yeah.
No, he's not. Oh yeah, it's called the G and LR, the Gay and Lesbian Review. And it was the July and August 2020. I submitted an open letter.
Well, there's Patricia who's in the thing saying he's telling the truth, that I guess they've been through this. And yeah, Jonathan, listen, I've got to go. I'm going to be in touch, and I'll call you back. And we'll see what happens. But we're so sorry that this happened to you. And anybody who's out there in the chat, if you know of anyone, an attorney or someone that can help, please get some help. And where are you located again?
I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Dallas, DFW, you said it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan, thank you, okay?
Thank you, John.
Okay, take care. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Thanks. So we try to help folks here. And look, I don't know all the reasons behind why he did what he did, why he stayed, I'm not an immigration lawyer. I don't know. I'm not an immigration expert. But he said he didn't want to claim asylum for whatever reason, and he said he couldn't. They tried. And a lot of people come over. I pray for you, Jonathan. Stay strong, my friend, says Myrna Shively. Or Shively. It is sad, Kev the Creator. You have to put yourself in these people's shoes. There's a way to incorporate people into society. Now, look, he's saying that his husband, there's no other evidence of any sort of criminal activity. So he went in today to check in, and he's gone. At least away from his family. At least away from his family. This is Kristi Noem in the White House, in the Oval Office today. Her heart is so big. This is the dog lady. Keep going. Let's play it.
Kristi, could you maybe say a couple of words about the border, how we're doing?
It's just been absolutely phenomenal what a great leader can do. Clear direction. Our laws matter. We should only have people in our country that love us, and Border Patrol and our.
We should only have people in our country who love us. What? Who love what? Love the administration? Love Donald Trump? Like what? We should only have people in our country who love us? How much are you guys loving America right now? Not saying that you don't support democracy, but what is she talking about? We should only have people in our country who love us. Isn't that what the First Amendment is about, being able to criticize your government and your country and not loving everything that they do? Isn't that, honestly, when you think about it, isn't that the reason that she's a lawmaker? Is because the country is not perfect, and there are times that people don't love what's happening in the country so much, and so they go out and vote for something they like or they don't like, right? That's one of the reasons she became a politician. It should have been, is to fix things that are wrong, to promote the general welfare, provide for the common defense, right? Establish justice. Ensure domestic tranquility. Come on now. By the way, thank you, Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just saying. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. Come on, Christy Nome. Only people who love us, give me a break. Now, you guys know Stephen Miller, right? Y'all know this man. This is, look, we talk about Orwellian all the time. Like, this is Orwellian. This is Orwellian. Remember 1984? This is Orwellian. No, this is. Because this man somehow has turned a lie into the truth, a negative into a positive, a loss into a win. And maybe that is how the MAGA brain operates. And maybe we figured it out. Now, you guys know the Supreme Court ruled against the Trump administration last week. But I want you to listen to Stephen Miller.
If he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan to ask for it? But the Supreme Court's asking to.
And what was the ruling in the Supreme Court, Steve? Was it 9-0?
Yes, it was a 9-0.
In our favor.
In our favor, against the district court ruling, saying that no district court has the power to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. As Pam said, the ruling solely stated that if this individual, at El Salvador's sole discretion, was sent back to our country, that we could deport him a second time.
Well,
no version of this legally ends up with him ever living here, because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That is the president of El Salvador. Your questions about it, per the court, can only be directed to him.
I asked.
A loss into a win. This is the kind of people that we're dealing with. Come on, guys. Now I'm going to show you, this is some shit right here, okay? Because when everyone's talking about the migrants, and everyone they deported has some sort of criminal record. This is what a Bloomberg study found. This isn't me. This isn't Don Lemon. Bloomberg, 90% of deported migrants to El Salvador had no criminal record. 90%. Bloomberg analysis of U.S. court records. Bloomberg reviewed federal court records, media reports, and public statements by government officials. The search also included state court documents available online. There were, can you take the Don Lemon thing down, please? There were 13 unconfirmed cases of people with similar names to deportees, though not an exact match. 5 had felonies. 3 had a misdemeanor. 9 migratory. Unconfirmed charges 13. And yet, as I wrote in my Substack, we're supposed to just keep scrolling and be okay with this. Just watching it go by on our timelines. That is owned by what? All of the people who are kissing Donald Trump's ass and who are in control of the algorithm. And we're supposed to be okay with this. Is it maybe it's not outrage because they're not paying enough attention to it? They're not devoting enough attention to it. They're not enough resources. It's not coming across their algorithm because they are fighting on TV, just yelling at each other and calling each other names. Is that what's happening here? Now, this is what, when I tell you, when people don't realize, it hasn't really hit home yet. And I told you about this person. I want you to listen. Everybody, first of all, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, become a member, and subscribe. It keeps us out here streaming. Okay? I need you to do that for me. But I also need you to sit back and I want you to listen to this person. Because this is what I call this is the cognitive dissonance. And this is what I call people with MAGA brain. Now, listen. This person is going to talk about having a heart, having empathy. Yet he voted for Donald Trump, who calls people all kinds of names, who has, according to Bloomberg, deported people who have no criminal record, who calls people sons of bitches and all kinds of words. And he's like, have some heart, who wants the libs. Like he, I don't know if he prays for but he touts the downfall of everyone he doesn't like. He demonizes people all the time, and that's not hyperbole. But yet this next person is going to say, hey, have a heart. How dare you? This is what I don't understand about the MAGA cult. Okay, everybody sit back. This is a 155%, 200% MAGA fuck around and find out. And now you want people to have empathy for you when you had no empathy for people when you went to the polling place, when you went to the voting booth, when you talk shit online about people, when you talk shit online in your personal life about people, when you claim DEI and you demonize people of color and minorities and women because of DEI and all that shit. Now you want someone to have empathy for you. Roll it.
I love this for you. I love this. Nice.
Back it up.
I love this for you. I love this.
Back it to the beginning.
I love this for you. I love this. Nice. I love this for you. I love to see you fail. I love to see your family be affected and hurt because you voted for Trump. Yeah, I voted for Trump. Absolutely. Did I know he was going to increase the tariffs? Yes, I did. However, I thought that the infrastructure would be set up prior for small business to come back to America and manufacture in America. So to wish ill on someone and to love the fact that they're suffering, to love the fact that their family is being negatively affected because I didn't vote the same way that you did is fucked up. It really is. It shouldn't matter. Anyone that enters my life, I'm going to judge you of who you are, how you are as a human being. Are you kind? Are you polite? Are you sincere?
Back it up. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up. Okay, now I want you to listen to this. Now, back it up a little bit. Now, imagine this person who's saying, are you kind? Are you nice? Are you sincere? And think about who he voted for. Now, I want you to think of him asking Donald Trump this question. Or think about him not asking Donald Trump this question. Think about him not taking this very thing that he's at these questions into account when he went to vote. Think about that. Here it is. Again, roll it back. Are you kind? Are you nice? Are you sincere? Are you whatever? Think about who he voted for. And why is he now asking people who are like, hey, dude, this is what you voted for? Keep going.
And to love the fact that they're suffering, to love the fact that their family is being negatively affected because I didn't vote the same way that you did is fucked up. It really is. It shouldn't matter. Anyone that enters my life, I'm going to judge you of who you are, how you are as a human being. Are you kind? Are you polite? Are you sincere? That's how I judge you, not who you voted for. I've got far left-leaning friends. I got far right-leaning friends. It doesn't matter to me. I like you based on who you are. But to see someone hurt and their business fail and their family be affected because they didn't vote the way you did, it's fucked up. I'm sorry, a lot of you are fucked up. I'm sorry. We should all care about each other regardless of who we voted for. I'm sorry. I hope you guys can be better people. Good luck to you guys.
Okay, so here's the thing. No one should be rooting for anyone's downfall and the downfall of anybody's business. I will agree with him on that. However, this is not just about people not liking him or rooting for his downfall because of someone he voted for, that they voted differently. It's because of what you voted for. It's because now you're saying, oh my God. And he was online, by the way, didn't put the original thing on that, online asking people for help because of the tariffs, because his business was going to be affected by the tariffs and he didn't know if he was going to be able to stay in business, and he was asking for some help. And people said, what? Why are you asking for help now? Again, it's one of those people that I talked about with Peter that they think that they're exempt from it when they're like, oh, he's never going to do that to me or people that I know. He's never going to do it to affect my business. It's not going to happen. So you rooted for the downfall of women, a woman's right to choose, right? Cat in the Hat, 2222. You rooted for someone's downfall, voting against their rights. That's what, okay, thank you. That's what I meant. You rooted for that when you voted against the rights of other people. When you voted for someone who is the opposite of the question that you're asking. Are you kind? Are you sincere? Are you a good person? Why are your rules for people who are online and who are telling you, hey, you fucked around and found out? Why are the rules different as it relates to Donald Trump? You're not asking him that question. You're expecting the people who are online, and we know that's what online is about, social media. You get all kinds of answers. It's as many people on social media as many opinions as you're going to get. Why are the standards higher for those people than it is for the person you voted for? Did you hear me? Why are your standards higher for people on the internet, perfect strangers, anonymous people, than they are for the person you voted for and the person who would be running the United States and the leader of the free world? This is not just about because you voted differently. This is about a lot more than that. Yeah. You fucked around and found out that's what you voted for. And if someone is commenting on you asking for help now that you voted for the person who is hurting your business, I think that's legit for them to say, hey, dude, that's what you voted for. Now to say, I'm rooting for your downfall, I don't like that. I don't take glee in anybody's downfall ever. But sometimes you do fuck around and you find out. And I think that's what's happening to a lot of people now. It may not have hit home to everybody, but mark my words. Remember I told you, I mean, pretty much I'm always right. Because I need to trademark that. Old people be knowing. And I've been on this earth for a long time. And this young man, he's younger than me. You need to sit back and think about that question. If you see this, sir, I want you to know that I'm not rooting for the downfall of your business or your family. I want your family to be able to thrive. I want you to be able to feed your family. I want you to have abundance. But I want you to think about what you voted against and what you stood for, what that stood for when you went to that voting booth. And I want you to understand the cognitive dissonance that you're having right now, because your standard for the person who will have more responsibility and who will affect your life in many more ways than the anonymous people, trolls, or whatever online. Why do you have a higher standard for those trolls than you have for your president? Why is it okay for him to do that to you, which is essentially what you're saying? Why is it okay for him to do that to you, but it's not okay for people to call you out when you voted against your own interests? That is what therapy does for me. It makes you go inside and you think about things. Well, why is that? Yeah, maybe I fucked up. Maybe I did that. I'm just saying. Okay, guys, I need you to do one more thing for me. I don't know if you have the link in the top of the chat, but the Webby thing, the Webby Award, it's kind of important to us. We're in a tough category. We're up against Jon Stewart and Mehdi Hasan and others. So those are so honestly, I'm just happy to be in the category with them, to be nominated. It's an honor to be nominated. So we were nominated for a Webby for our interview with Whoopi Goldberg. So if you guys, damn, Don, well said. Thank you. Okay, I appreciate that. Let me read some of the comments. Okay, so if you can put the link in the top while I read these comments. And you guys, if you want to become a member of the channel, the link is in the top as well. But you know how to do that, right? You guys know how to do that.
Membership is now gone. Now it's the Webbies vote.
So go click on that Webby thing and vote. And it takes you directly to the category, I hope, right? Let me check.
It does, yes.
No, because I have the membership link in there. Oh, and it's asking me to join. This is my account that doesn't have, because I want to see the commercials that air. I would like to see the commercials that air. So there we go. So vote, and it takes you right there, okay, to our category. There it is. We're moving up. We're moving up. Hey, but we're in a good place, okay? We're in third place. Okay, that's fine. You guys can put us at least in second place. I want you to put us in first place. Again, we're up against Jon Stewart, Mehdi Hassan, Talking Pictures, Bill Hader. I mean, that's from Warner Brothers. And then Wave Sports, and like we're up against some serious stuff. Carmelo Anthony. If you're on the TikTok, go over. I don't know if the moderators, I gave you pin access. You can pin that to the top of the chat if you're listening. The moderators, go grab that link from the YouTube and pin it in there. So you guys on TikTok, go and vote for us. When I vote for everyone, not for a simple issue that may benefit me. Oh, you're talking about regular voting. I agree. You vote for issues not just for yourself, but you think about the common good. You think about the common good and not just for yourself, because when you do it selfishly, you end up like that gentleman. Again, I feel bad for him that the tariffs are affecting his business. I did not want that for him, and that's why I voted another way. You and your team are number one in my book. Thank you, Joan Morgan. So click on that link in the top and vote. Okay, let's shout out. Do we have some new members we want to shout out? So thank you all. I just voted on. Good luck. Sandra Cherie. And I'll read some of your comments. Pam Bondi is going to jail for all of this. I don't know about that, Sabrina, if that's going to happen. Some folks are saying they don't feel bad for that gentleman. I don't know. But I think I think I stated it perfectly, that you have higher standards for someone who is a troll than you have for the president. Love Gwaltney, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Elimination. Metal Mama 1987, welcome to the Elimination. Thank you for having us. Thank you for supporting us. Ms. Lady, thank you for continuing. Ms. Lady has been here for your membership. Appreciate it. AKA Mace, welcome to the Elimination. Shouting out all of our new members. Rashidi Nuru, welcome to the Elimination. On the YouTube, if you want to get your comments up. Yondell Sam, Gottsman Victory, welcome to the Elimination. Glad that you are here. And hopefully we can help Jonathan. Rose, welcome to the Elimination. Hopefully we can help Jonathan. And again, you guys, before you leave, make sure you hit the thumbs up. There's not enough thumbs up. Like half the people in here have hit the thumbs up. Are you kidding me? Not even half. And concurrently, we have like 10,000, which means averages out to more. And we have like just 5,000. Come on, guys. You guys can do better than that. Okay. What else do y'all want to talk about, by the way? Let me know. Let me know. Make sure you vote and make sure you become a member. And I want you to think about all these people. Think about when you've gone through hardships or something and someone gave you a break. Think about the people you know who are immigrants to this country. And some of them came over, they were undocumented. And they have become professionals and public servants and members who are positively contributing to the community and America. So guys, you know, as I say every single time, as I'm about to leave, I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm so happy the great engagement that we had today, except I'm not happy about the thumbs up. We're going to have to start doing that poll again. Am I going to have to start putting that scroll back up? Because you guys hate that scroll. Do I have to put the scroll back up? Do I have to put the scroll back up? Oh, thank you. And go to donlemon.com for a Substack, okay? donlemon.com. Go there and read what I wrote today about how tired we are. All right. And I love you for watching. I'm so glad that you watched. And yeah, we got some serious shit that we need to deal with in this country. And it's time for people to start fighting back. It's time for the courts to do their jobs. It's time for the Congress and the Senate, our lawmakers, to do their jobs as well. We got to fight autocracy. We have to fight dictatorship. We have to fight fascism. We got to fight it all. And by the way, just so you know, my producer sent me this, Peter, saying that we can put it up. The government has filed its status update in the Abrego Garcia case. It says that the Department of Homeland Security does not have the authority to forcibly extract an alien from the domestic custody of a foreign sovereign nation, and quotes Bukele's comments during his meeting with Trump today. The government has filed its status update in the Abrego Garcia case. It says the DHS does not have the authority to forcibly extract an alien from the domestic custody of a foreign sovereign nation.
So the only reason why I wanted us to break this news, Don, is because you and I, in private chats and then on some other streams, have discussed how in the past the administration has objectively flouted Supreme Court rulings.
This one is in writing.
But as I've said previously, they've been using the quote unquote "my dog ate my homework" defense. They've held up some type of fig leaf, right? Explain, like consider what you talked about earlier about the difference between facilitate and effectuate.
Mm-hmm.
They've tried to put up some type of fig leaf, some type of vague excuse as to why what they're doing is not actually defying the court. And then today, during the Oval bilat, obviously Trump was suggesting that he was going to defy the court. But again, like, quote, that's just Trump being Trump. That's just Trump riffing. That's just Trump speaking off the cuff. I think the reason why this is a big deal is this is now them literally in court putting down officially on paper, F the Supreme Court, F John Roberts. We are going to do what we want, and we are going to let this man rot, this innocent man rot in a concentration camp forever.
Thank you, Peter. So now they put it in and saying that's their stance, and then it's going to have to go. It's going to continue to go through the courts. That's why I said the other day. Remember, it is a victory, and kind of, but careful, because they're going to be fighting over effectuate and facilitate. Did I not say that to you guys? Peter, did I not say that to you when you said this is a win?
You did.
Oh. Okay, guys. So I love you for watching. And as I say every single time, we'll be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time for our Hot Topic show. 8 o'clock. Check out what I put up at 8 o'clock. You are going to love it, okay? If you are here, you will be redirected. So just click on the notify button. Have it notify you after this, okay? So turn the TV off. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never, ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will